Question number one, this is the beginner level question. What is Kubernetes pod? And almost in every interview, this has been asked. But my favorite is second part. Why would you ever run more than one container in a pod? So what is the expected answer? The pod is smallest deployable unit in Kubernetes, one or more containers that shares network namespace, IP addresses, and optionally storage volumes. All containers in pod communicate via localhost and see the same network. Why we keep the multiple containers in the one pod? Multiple containers in a pod makes sense for the sidecar pattern, a primary application container plus an helper. So where you add the main container and the sidecar container, shared network namespace, IPs, localhost, shared volumes, and this is optional. Common sidecar use cases: service mesh proxy, Envoy Istio injected automatically, a log shipping sidecar, a reads app log for shared volumes and ships to Elastic. Configuration reloader watches config map and changes signals the main app, and init containers run to completion before main containers start. Used for DB migrations, waiting for dependencies, configure the environments before running the actual applications. What are the hiring managers' expectation? Beginner candidate knows a pod runs container. I am testing whether they know why multi-container pod exists. The sidecar pattern, knowing init containers is a strong junior to mid differentiator. Why we use the sidecar pattern? What are the common mistakes? A pod is likely Docker container. A pod is an abstraction above the containers. A pod can contain multiple containers. Fitting pod is equal to container shows unfamiliarity with the Kubernetes fundamental. So this is smooth. So let's see by the production example in e-commerce system. What is a pod? This is the online shopping platform, store front end, checkout payment service, inventory stock service, and the database MySQL. So where what is pod? Pod is a smallest unit in Kubernetes. It can have one or more containers that work. For example, checkout service pod, main container, checkout app, plus sidecar container for log collection, log collector. Shared network, both containers share the same IP address, local host. Work together, containers in a pod communicate using the local host and share resources. Shared storage, they can share volumes if needed. Real life in e-commerce, user places an order, store sends the request, checkout pod, payment is processed, order is confirmed. So why use multiple containers in pod? Example, log collector sidecar can collect logs from the main app without affecting the application. Key takeaway, pod is like a single unit on the server. It helps run your application and its helper containers together. Follow-up questions. There are 5 follow-up questions that you can refer, and it's short answer. So mostly these questions are asked in every Kubernetes interview on the pods and containers.